Do you know that Yureshi is actually not coming to the grand finals for Team Outplay? That is quite interesting. That explosive news for a lot of you watching and rooting for Team Outplay, because we know how well Yureshi actually played in the entire tournament. Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into how the team performed in history, how they performed in the semifinals to get a sneak peek into the future. To tell you what I think about what's going to happen in HyperX Arena on May 14th, 2023, the fated match between these two teams. Yes, the players who came back from M4 separated in their own ways and now will be reunited in a very different fashion in HyperX Arena, Las Vegas. Quite exciting. So without further ado, guys, let's quickly dive into all the clips I prepared for you guys today. Now, I want to say that with Yureshi exiting the NACT Grand Finals, the reason for that is because Yureshi does have visa issues and this guy lives in Canada. Now, you do need a visa, unfortunately, to come to Canada, to come to United States, so he's not able to present in finals. But if Team Outplay actually do make it out of this tournament, as the NA champion, Yureshi will be joining Outplay in the MSC and IESF. That's the information I know so far. Now, let's take a look at first game of the first turtle fight. You can see that T actually had the upper hand in the early game, and he's able to reach level 4 while Yureshi is still level 3. And that's why T is such a important addition to Bloodthirsty Kings, to BTK, right? Without this player, a lot of plays are simply just not possible. Now, T can still improve on like what he does, his positioning, his entrance at the first turtle, but he's still nonetheless ahead of the enemy corresponding EXP laner and rotate towards the turtle ahead of his opponent. And like I said, the current meta is a broken meta, right? It's a broken meta in the sense of like everybody has broke the code. Everybody know exactly what to do now. But still, nonetheless, majority of MPL teams are not doing the right thing, which kind of surprises me. And majority of NA teams still not doing the right thing. Maybe they want to, but they just can't because they're being destroyed by the top teams. Now, let's take a look at this clip, right? T kind of find out where best player is. He saw the small camp being taken in. He jumps in. Without hesitation, he decided to use his skills and then quickly jump on best player. Now, obviously, best player was a nice sidestep to dodge that. But T successfully zoned enemy jungler away and bought Zane precious time to take the turtles. The first turtle went to Bloodthirsty King. Also gave him a huge momentum boost, right? Because if your enemy jungler is being destroyed by your EXP laner while the rest of the team can't even make it, that tells you that you have a really good players. That tells you that, your team's winning. Now, you usually give the team morale boost at the first turtle. It's very important to open up momentum like this, and that's exactly what BTK did, and that is provided by T. Now, let's take a look at second clip. The second clip is the second turtle, right? This is the clip where Zane forced the turtle without T's presence. Take a look at minimap. One more time, this is where I was saying every turtle, if your EXP laner is not present, you need to think about something else, right? You shouldn't really focus on turtle because the only time when you do the turtle is enemy jungler really is being pressured. Now, who gives the most amount of pressure in the early game? This is the 4 minutes. This is the second turtle. No one really up really far ahead. It's completely even. Why are we starting the turtle, right? Instead, what BTK should have done is coordinate the engage onto Shark. Maybe they can find an easy kill on Shark, right? If Joybot land a stun, Yato do a combo, this guy's dead. And then they can move on, use the opportunity to move on to the second target. Maybe Joybot didn't even have to use ultimate here. Just skill 1 stun into the engage from Zane to engage from Yato. They can get a kill. But instead, Zane is just so fixated on the turtle every single time. And that has kind of put the team in a bad position a lot of times. And then, we're going to show some of those opportunities. Let's take a look at this, right? Zane just keep on pressuring onto the turtle for some reason, and Joybot wasn't finding a clear engage. I don't know why you have to move out of this bush and move away. You can see Joybot decided to move up. And there's absolutely no reason for this, right? There's no reason for the position change, none of that. And because of that, the turtle got dropped to really, really low. It changed the position of the team fighting to a 50-50, where they shouldn't have to be, right? What could have happened is Joybot, if he had a clear plan, when Shark comes in, call the team for it, stun, dead. It's a level 5 Kaja with no items. What do you expect the Kaja to do? Survive? No, he's not going to survive. He's going to die immediately here. And that's all you need to do. Because nobody else is ready from the rest of the team, right? In fact, from a team Bloodthirsty King side, After they kill Shark, they have an advantage because now ISO is going to shove the top lane. He's going to rotate with the team fight. Now T is going to make it to the team fight, and they can pressure the best player away, and they can do it. But instead of Zane have to be fixated on the turtle, have to keep on focusing on the turtle, and same as Joybot, have to move away from this bush. Just to do what? Just so you don't take the poke from Shark? There's no reason for that. When he walks up, stun the motherfucker, and you get a win, right? So like you can see that the two tank players are still struggling on finding the clear game plan on what to do at the objectives. You got to use objective a bait to do team fights, especially when the win condition of the objective is not very clear. In this case, it's your EXP laner. The equation is not complete. You don't have one part of the part of the formula to make this chemistry happen, and yet they're still forcing the chemistry. So let's take a look at over here, right? We showed you the failure of emotional damage coming out from Joybot, but at the same time, there's also emotional damage coming out from Shark. Look at Shark walking up. Now, before this, let's go through the setup, right? Shark has Flicker, Shark has Ultimate, and yet he saw Zane. The entire team's ready. All 5 of them. 4 here. This guy's in the bush. All 5 of them. What are you waiting for? Get the motherfucker and get it done with, right? But yet, Shark's like, he wasn't sure. You could have got Zane a long time ago. If you have Kaja and your entire team's ready, like, get him, right? Get him and just kill him. The reason why Shark didn't want to do this because he didn't believe the team has the damage to do it. But yet, it's Zane. It's at this point, it's not very tanky. Just get the target. You have a lot of burst damage, including Lilia, including Yureshi, right? If you get Zane low, if Yureshi is a glue, he can jump on Zane and finish the rest of the kill. It's that simple, but yet that wasn't happening. So that's something that we really gotta take a look at, right? The both tank players, they're just not really confident in teams' like ability to execute. And the same as Joybot, right? He likes to waste skills quite often. So over here, using the skill 1 onto the minion, is completely wasted. There's no reason for that. Using the skill 2 on the minion wave, just so that he can clear the minion wave a little bit faster. This is 6 minutes into the game. That's the last thing you want to do as a tank player. Last thing you want to do, especially on Lolita, you want to hide yourself and find a clear engage with the team, coordinate with the team to do an engage, coordinate with the team to do a team fight. In this case, he didn't even have vision on the rest of the OP. He just jumped in, wasted all the skills. Now it's a clear time for Shark to engage. Flicker ult, skill 2 ult, doesn't matter. He didn't do either. He just walked up. It's about watching the British comedy of people, police chasing a criminal around the table. It's like, what am I watching here, right? It's so cringe. Now, let's go to the next clip. This is the third turtle. 7 minute 40 seconds. Look, Joybot now engaged on Shark without follow up from the team. Okay, now T decided to show up, right? Okay. Then why is Bot using the skill 2 again? What is this for? What are you doing with that skill? Like, who is threatening you to use that skill 2? Right? Is it a Chang'e ult? What is this? Right? Why waste skill? Now, you gotta understand, when you pick Lolita against 1-1, if you just save that skill, 1-1 become useless. This character literally become useless. Even if 1-1 gets ultimate, if Lolita gets in front of the target he's ulting, it blocks everything from 1-1. We all know that to be true. But yet, we'll waste the skill 2. Let's take a look, right? So, T finds the kill number 1. Very beautiful job from T and Yato. And right here, look, if Lolita had ultimate, T would be alive. Am I not true? It's just fact. Don't waste skill like this as a tank player. When you're playing tank, how to utilize your skills is very, very important. I can't believe I'm talking about mechanics, but when to use mechanics is very, very important. I'm pretty sure within the middle of the team fight, the player knows exactly what to do. But it's very important for a tank player to not use your quad control skill lightly, to not show yourself lightly, right? Because sometimes not using the skill is the biggest quad control. I mentioned this in What Pro Never Tell You series, in all my guides over and over again, right? If you can hold on to your skill and use it at the right moment, that alone is a quad control, right? If you are playing a tick, for example, you hold your flicker, you hold your ultimate, you walk up to a mage, guess what the mage is gonna do? He's gonna run back. He knows you're gonna push him or her, doesn't matter, right? He's gonna run back. Why is he running back? Because he's afraid of you. You still have your skill you haven't used. That itself is a crowd control. That's what I call it the mental game. All tank players need to be very careful. If you want to execute a skill, execute it in a snap. But when you don't execute it, just hold on to your skill. Don't randomly use it. That's the dumbest thing you can ever do as a tank player. So obviously we saw that coming out, and it's really cringe, right? So, and I don't want to see that, right? So let's go back to another clip. So right here, this is the clip going to the lore setup. Let's take a look. Now, before this lore setup, I want to show you exactly what happened, right? Like, let's take a look at this team fight. So you get an idea, of what's happening. So lore has been out for quite some time now. Lore has been out for quite some time. You have Joybot, Yato in this bush doing really good. All right, hiding in the bush. Perfect, Now, sometimes you can be spread out a little bit. Have Joybot in here, right? But in the bush is better than not in the bush. So far, the only person that has vision, that's showing vision is Zane and also Lapu. That's fine, right? That's actually okay, with that status. If Lapu not showing, it's even better. But obviously, I know that Yureshi is pressure top lane, so you have to show. Okay, that's fine. So now the lane has shown. We know Yureshi, for a side of OP, no one else is showing, right? Let me take a look to go back. Yeah, no one else is showing. So OP is doing a better job hiding in the bush, and Lilia has put a bomb in here to get vision. That's also really nice, right? Who knows how to get vision sometimes? So you see Shark walking up. You see Yureshi walking up. There are a few things that Joybot can do. The entire side of BTK is ready, right? What he can do is coordinate with the team to do a stun. T throw some skills, Zane throw some skills, and get Yureshi really low. That's what he can do, number one. But instead, he did none of that, right? He didn't really none of that. He just let Yureshi walk in, right? Yureshi just walked in. He saw him. Why not engage? Your entire team's ready. Well, what are we waiting for? Yureshi knew somebody's in that bush, right? Because the bomb is in here. You knew like two people was in this bush. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna engage on them. So it turned out to be Yureshi who has the balls, the guts to engage. Like I said, when your team is ready, don't be shy to engage. The meta is really, really simple, but yet Joybot is not doing that. He's just waiting for a miracle to happen, and again, wasting skill 2. Look, he dashed away, right? What is the skill 2 for? Who is this threatening you to use the skill 2? Now, obviously, ISO leveraging the fact that he, Kaja used ultimate, so he decided to jump in, which is really good. And TM ended up getting away, also really nice mechanic. Leveraging the flicker, leveraging everything else. If you're gonna use the flicker here, I would just flicker and kill 1-1, to be honest. You can see how much damage that he was doing to 1-1, right? 1-1 doesn't have wind of nature either, right? Like, actually see that? If you landed the previous slashes, we would just kill 1-1. Like, I would just go balls deep and kill 1-1. But T, this is also fine if you survive, and Yureshi died here. So credit Joybot for using the ultimate, but you see many, many times that the tank players are not contributing that much towards the team, including Joybot, including Shark, who has been to all these big tournaments. They're still shy and uncertain about their moves. And that's really bad because in the team fights going against the top teams, we're talking about going to MSC, we're talking about who's going to have a clear, decisive win in ACT finals. I can't see that from the tank players. I really can't, right? Between Joybot and Shark, I can't tell you who's better. I can't tell you who is more decisive because from all the clips I've shown you, it has made it clear that we don't know. We just don't know, right? So now let's take a look at this clip one more time. Going back to after the setup is finished. Lapu went back to base because he got really low from Yureshi. Now, obviously, Yureshi got killed. Shark was dead. So for BTK side, they have 4 people over 3. They want to do this Lord. Totally understand. But you got to wait for Lapu to come back. Again, every single objective setup need to have your EXP laner ready so they can flank the backline, right? They can pressure a lot of the enemies away. If that's not the case, you want to use Lord as an objective to bait. This cannot be your goal. That means you cannot get this low enough for an enemy to execute. But yeah, you will see Zane forcing it. They got it so low, not knowing where best player is, not knowing where basic is, not knowing where Hoon is. Now, even with all 3 of them present, why are you still damaging this? Move away from the freaking Lord, Zane. Go help your teammates. Joybot just like, okay, he finally moved away, right? But it's already too low now. And best player is smart enough to be letting them hit him on top of the Lord. So you can see the Lord is being damaged while ISO and Joybot was killing, killing a basic. So like it's one of those scenarios where it's not ideal. Like, look, this is skill 2 is a good skill 2. This is a useful skill 2. It's one of the only skill 2 I see Joybot done properly in this entire game. To be honest, right? All the other skill 2s are just like, what? Like, what? Why are you even doing that? And yet, Zane got this lore solo. I think 50% is where you want to do it. In this case, when Lapu is not ready, we have no vision on enemy team. I think what jungler should do, instead of doing this, is pull the Lord to this corner. So the enemy have to pressure further up for you guys to have vision on them to decide what to do, right? But instead, Zane decided to do it in the pit. And that's a big mistake. That ended up losing the Lord, and we all know the Lord is a turning point for them. Let's take a look at next clip. This is where after they lost the Lord and everything. Well, actually, this is a little bit after that. We'll show you the exclusive clip why Yureshi is such a game changer for the side of OP, right? Because we've seen the tank players they're just not stepping up the plate under tremendous amount of pressure, but Yureshi is constantly performing, and actually I'm just gonna show the clip right here because I actually just have the clip. So just give me 1 second, right? Let's take a look at this clip. This is after Outplay have gotten a Lord because, Zane forced a Lord and then, they lost it. Look at Yureshi. Where few EXP laner has the balls, have the understanding, have the creativity to be camping in this bush. But you actually did, right? So take a look at the setup, right? He actually walked from this bush into a further up bush and just waited there. Didn't move, didn't really do anything. He know that Lap was top, and he waited for everybody else. The moment he saw Yato showing up in a minimap, which wasn't shown here by the cameraman, he immediately jumped on Yato and got a free kill. And that triggered a cascade of disaster for the side of BTK. First of all, Joybot used ultimate solo onto Yureshi for no reason, right? And he didn't even land. Right? That's like another no-no. And then T to jump on Hun, that's fine, But OP took opportunity of everybody missing all their stuff and now, triggered a clear engage from, look, let's take a look at what they did here, right? Oh, actually, I was in the pen mode. I was like, why is this not working? All right, let's go back. After this guy jumped in, when T went back in, Joybot wasn't ready. Zane wasn't ready. They were not focused on the same target. But Shark went back in, right? This is the time when the entire team OP. I listened to the voice comm, but we have a video about with OP. They are very decisive. I think it was called by Hun maybe to go in, and they just masked and went in really decisively. So they gotta win on this. This is a mistake from the side of BTK. Also, really good play from Yureshi. All started from Yureshi getting a kill onto Yato. If Yato didn't die here, right? If Yato did not get caught and Yureshi survived, this would be a completely different outcome. Entire BTK wouldn't be pressured all the way to their base and losing the high ground tower. So just how important Yureshi is, you guys already know. And Yureshi not playing in the grand finals. Instead, we have Promise playing in the grand final, which is also a really good EXP laner. But we haven't seen Promise being active in a competitive scene. So how is that going to shake up the meta? We'll find out, right? It's mainly my biggest concern right now is if I look at the tank players, I can't really see who is the game changer, right? I can't tell. Now let's take a look at some of the mistakes. So also some of the mistakes that Zane's making. Zane's making quite a bit of mistake in the NACT grand finals, semifinals, right? Over here, Zane walked up to this bush. Now, Lilia kind of pressured him away. You can see Lilia started throwing skills, pushed Zane away. So he knew Lilia's in there, right? He also knew the position for his own teammates, which is 2 on here, 1 on here. Two here, right? So he has no vision on the entire rest of the team. He knows Lilia is in that bush for sure, which at this point in the game, he will not be alone. Instead, knowing all that, instead of walking back towards his own tower, he still decided to come to this bush. For what? For what? It's just he's zoned out at this point, right? I mean, now he get caught because now they know that he's in there, so they decided to go on him. and just get him caught, right? Because they knew Zane walked into this bush. Now, listen, if Lolita's in this bush, Lapu's in this bush, Farsa's in this bush, that's a completely different story. But none of them is in this bush, just Zane. So if they're in this bush and Zane walked down just to bait him, be like, yo, come at me, and OP decided to camouflage and, go in, Lolita do a big set, and they just wipe them, that's completely different. But what I saw is something that's completely different, right? It's opposite. The entire BTK is on the opposite side of the map, and Zane still decided to walk down to that bush to get completely caught. That's a recipe for disaster at this point of the game. That's just a mistake. Another mistake that Zane made. Let's take a look at a second game. This is the second game right here. Let's take a look at first turtle because we want to see how the first turtle is executed. You can see T again. Out rotating his opponent, running into a turtle. Okay, nice rotation from T here. Dodge to skill 2. Joybotch, South best player, jumping in, executing, beautiful. This is one of the decisive play Joybotch made. I like that. Every single play should be like that, right? If you want to make a play, do not hesitate. You use a skill and has to make something happen. You decisively know I can use a skill to pull this person, or you just don't know, right? When you know, you just do it. Look, they execute on Fanny. They got a Fanny killed, and they got a free turtle, right? But this is a rare occasion when this is executed the right way. We don't see many of the right executions coming out from the tank players. Basically, unreliable, right? Inconsistent. And consistency is the number one deciding factor, on top plays. Can we consistently rely on this player to make the play? Can we consistently rely on Ureshi to make the play? Yes. Can we consistently rely on Joybotch and Shark? The answer here is unfortunately no, right? We don't see that from all the clips, all the videos that we saw. Let's take a look at this play, right? Immediately after Joybotch made a good play over there, is now 4 minutes second turtle, right? Let's take a look at Joybotch on minimap on top side, right? He saw Shark walk in the bush, he has vision on it. What he can do, right now he saw Hoon as well, is walk up. If I'm Joybotch, skill 2, flicker, I would forget about skill 2. I would just flicker if I see this opportunity. Actually, I see Hoon here, I would still need a skill 2, a little bit of distance, and instantly flicker and get Hoon, and just wombo combo. Right, look. Why not flicker wombo combo? Perfect, right? Bait out if you wombo combo here with Zane's damage, I think they will get Shark low. Who probably use the Purify for sure, right? They will get Shark low, if not kill Shark directly. But why force the turtle when you know for sure that your EXP lane is not ready? It's very far. This mid lane is not ready. Gold lane is not ready. Nobody's ready, and yet Zane and Botch was doing this like a zombie. And now what tank player need to do is go into the bush, right? We talk about tank player need to be hiding themselves knowingly, unknowingly for the enemy side, right? They can see, they know you're in this bush, doesn't matter. Go into the freaking bush, so you at least have another element of surprise. Yet look at Joybotch. He started dancing. Oh, I was like, what did I see here? Now, obviously, Shark had enough of this shenanigans, right? Now, over here, Shark could have ulted Zane, but I think ulting Joybotch is fine too, because Joybotch has the CCs. But ulting Zane would be better, because they would kill Zane no matter what, right? Was best player, was everybody. So, but ulting the qual control is also fine. It's fine. Look, turned out to be completely fine. They one-shotted even Joybotch. Mentioning Zane will be one-shotted too, completely. Right? So it doesn't matter who he ults. It's a mistake come from Joybotch because he's like, why are you dancing here? What is this? First of all, not going to the bush because he's scared for some reason. Second of all, he started dancing. Just walk in the freaking bush. You don't have to do anything else. If you walked into the bush, right? If you walk in the bush, he wouldn't be hooked like this because Shark would have no vision. He would only have to choose Zane, right? And also another thing is, why not engage right here when he has vision of Shark and Hoon overlapping each other? What other chances do you have? He has Flicker and Ultimate. He's not doing it, right? This inconsistency coming from Bodge and Shark are mutual. Both of them are doing the same thing. Now I'm watching them. I was like, well, NA does miss some Yowies. We need more Yowies. Or maybe someone who is brave enough to shot call, decisive enough to shot call. at the right time. You know, I know some people who like that, but they're not recognized in the top player, unfortunately. Right? Let's take a look at the third turtle right here. Right now, let's take a look at the setup first for botch. Okay, let's take a look. Go back to further back so you can see exactly how the setup goes. Yureshi jump onto ISO. Okay, now Yato is here, ISO is here. Yureshi's not gonna kill him. So what JoyBotch can do is walk in this bush and get Yureshi, right? Like skill 2 into this bush and get Yureshi. That's number 1, right? Because Yureshi have flicker. They can just kill him. They can kill this guy for sure. You don't want to? Sure, Yureshi can be too tanky. You don't want to? That's fine. But you saw Yureshi in there. Still, JoyBotch could have walked in this bush, right? Very important. Bush control. Walk in this bush. To call everybody to be ready up. I would go into this bush. I would then go into this bush if I'm JoyBotch, right? But instead, look. You take a very defensive bush. And this defensive bush is really odd. Because, like, I don't know whether he saw Hoon walking in. I highly doubt it. But yet, you know, like, I think Yato would have vision on this. You know, if he throw a skill 2 in there. Nonetheless, JoyBotch could engage on the bush. He eventually did. He eventually engaged on the bush. Now look at the team position, right? You have ISO has ultimate on the side. He wasn't sure what the team wanted to do. He decided to recall, which is like, and Moa Zane is doing the turtle. Again, is T ready? No, T's not ready. He's stuck on top side. Why forcing the turtle, right? Well, if your EX player is not ready, the number 1 thing that you should think about is using the turtle as a bait and then do something, do a wombo combo, get some kills, get some casualty on the other side. JoyBotch could have engaged here or just sit in this bush after Yureshi got pushed away, right? He could have just walked in this bush and sit there. Instead, he decided to camp waiting here for some reason. You know, when there's no vision provided and Yato walking to a death bush. If you sit in the bush and caught Hoon or somebody, or right now, if you want to go into the bush decisively, just go in. Right here, go into the bush, saw Hoon, right? And just do an ultimate or something like that. But obviously, the teammate is not there. So I can understand why he did eventually not ultimate. But still, nonetheless, it's just wasted opportunities. Indecision. You know, that cost him big time. And again, over here, it's just a lot of indecision. Watch this one more time. You know, now he got hooked. JoyBotch's like, I have ultimate. So you got an ult. Now, beautiful purify from Hoon there to, you know, so he doesn't get canceled. But like when he ulted his shark, Zane didn't immediately follow up. He was running away, you know, which is again, I would just say this is just retreat ult to save Zane from dying. Sure. But nonetheless, the execution could have been a lot better since the beginning of the turtle. Now let's take a look at this fight right here. Going to this fight, this is immediately after a shark just ulted Yato to find a kill. So he doesn't have ultimate. You know, it's understandable that he's coming back. Let's take a look at setup, right? But Botch does. He does have ultimate. He has mask. He has everything ready. You know, mask, skill 2, flicker, kills. Best player, shark, wombo combo. Right? Wombo combo. What did Botch do? Let's take a look. Spinning! He thought he is a fidget spinner. My dude literally thought he was a living fidget spinner. Right? Instead of just like go in and engage, which like why do you even pick Atlas and Paquito if you're not gonna wombo combo ever? Like what are you waiting for? Christmas? What are you waiting for? Like what is this? Just very odd execution. Like I don't fully understand it. You know, I'm looking at it. I was like, okay, there are so many opportunities for Botch to ult this. Let's take a look at the setup since the beginning of it, right? So, first of all, JoyBotch walked in. He does have flicker, does have ultimate. Didn't want ult Yureshi. Fine. The team is not ready. It's just him. Yato just got killed. Understandable. Walking backwards. Understandable. Hiding himself back in this bush. Understandable. Right? I can say all of that's understandable because Yato just got killed. So he's not confident that they have the damage to do it. You know. But now, what you need to do is identify what target can we kill, right? Shark doesn't have ult. He knows that he doesn't want to target Shark. That's fine. What you can wait for is who? You can bait out, you go skill 2, hardcore onto Hoon, bait out Purify, or most importantly, just go on best player, right? Once they move away, but JoyBotch could easily walk back into this bush and just waited there. Just waited there. But instead, he liked to walk around and do, you know, think of himself as a fidget spinner. I don't understand. You know, there's so many unnecessary moves. The higher elo play that you see, you will see the players, the good players actually make less moves. It's not more bad. It just need to be pinpoint accurate. Every move needs to make sense. It cannot be random. So let's take a look at Kaja, right? At this point, let's compare Shark at this point. Shark has ultimate, just came back. He has ultimate. He doesn't have anything else though, but he has the ultimate. So what does Shark do? Why are you spinning outside? Now Shark become the fidget spinner? Why this fidget spinner action? It is so odd. Nobody does that. If you watch like top players for MPL, no one does that. It's so odd. It's random. It's odd. It makes no sense. And look here. Joybot decided to finally use ult on Shark. He could have done that a long time ago if you want to target Shark, by the way. If you just want to target Shark. But nobody followed up on his entire team. He probably didn't call for it. And Shark, at the same time, reverse ulted Joybot as well. So neither of them really did anything. They did. Look, Joybot wastes his ultimate. Shark wastes his ultimate. Neither of them did anything. So I don't know what this love tab is. It's like, are they equally good or are they equally bad? I'm watching this. It's sad to say this, but I'm on the side of truth, right? Looking at players, it's just one of those things that the facts never change, And coming back to BTK. Now, you have Yureshi chasing the entire BTK backline, right? Look, Yureshi's over here, right? Joybot is trying to engage onto here. He decided not to engage. He's like half-assed. He walked in and decided to walk away. And then Zane jumped in onto the backline. Watch, it's so funny, right? Now he has vision on them. Just stun this. Keep on going, stun. Joybot follow up, right? Go on basic or something. He didn't have purify. That should be communicated. Right? Go on them. Nobody has ult. Shark doesn't have ult. Nobody has skills. Have a clear direction who you want to go. Or just don't do anything. Go back to your Reshi. Your entire team's on it. But instead, we've seen like, okay, Claude chasing Fanny. That's fine. If he's confident enough to solo. Rest of the teams need to go on one target. No matter who the target is. Yureshi, which at this point, if they're confident of killing basic, even better, right? But it has to be one target. What I'm seeing here is 3 battlefields, right? Take a look. This is the top, and then there's another one here, and another one here. 3 battlefields. What kind of team, going to MSC, the NA team cannot play like this. They're gonna get destroyed. They really are, right? This is like, I don't know. This is not a competitive game. I was watching this from the production side, and I was like, oh God, this is horrible. This is like a nightmare. This is what the hell? Yeah, this is what the hell. This is what's going on, right? This straight up gives me emotional damage. Exactly. Like, what is that, right? It's not supposed to happen. And yet they still got the Lord. It's just one of those things that's like, I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, it's so odd. It's so odd, This just should not happen. Like, both sides wasting ults, sitting in the bush, not sure what to do. It's like, not sitting in the bush, not sitting in the bush and just wasting their talents, Like, just not, like, Sharks just sitting in the bush instead of being a fidget spinner. There's no point. One person should do that. It's either Reshi, best players, already doing that. Best players shouldn't have gone in like this, right? I think the bait, they have to define it. In this case, not going to be Fanny because he built full damage. Probably Reshi, right? Walking up, getting vision. And the rest of the people just wait. Instead we see some kind of cringe stuff, right? Like now, Joybot got a ult on Shark. Why is not communicated? Why is Yato and T not throwing skill on them? Like, what's going on? Like, why is it not synced? There's so many whys. There's so many stuff going through my head. Usually when I look at RSG Philippines versus Echo, the another game we analyzed. Why is that when we analyze that game, we're looking at who executed better, we're comparing who does it better, but both are really good. Over here, we're looking like who become less cringe, which I can't tell you who. Both sides play really bad. All right, guys. Like, what can I say? As someone who supports North America no matter what, right? As someone who want to see North America win, I think the only hope is to put pressure on these players and tell them, hey, if you don't do what's needed to be done, you have to be benched. I think a certain amount of pressure and accountability has to be put on this kind of players to let them know, yeah, represent North America. You're not just going in to party. You're not just going to get girls. You're not going there to get famous. Playing like this, you're never going to get famous, all right? This is not going to happen. We need results. And how do you get results? You have to set up a dedication, set up a decision that I want to change. You know, someone need to give them the pressure to change what they're doing. Either team, BTK, or, you know, Outplay. The engages are just the game plans. I can't see any, right? There's no setup. No one's baiting. Who's the bait? Who's actual engage, right? How to engage? Who's the target? Who to focus on? I don't see any of that coming out from Outplay. What Outplay does better than BTK is early game. But even now, we see the early game because of T, BTK is actually doing pretty good. So Urashi and is now going to the grand final. So ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you who is going to win the grand final. I really can't. I think it's going to be who has momentum, who take the 2 weeks seriously and train and correct those mistakes, set up a game plan. Those will decide who will win the grand final. What do y'all think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I love you guys. I want to see North America win. So this comes from the bottom of my heart. Make some changes. And we'll see you in NACT in Vegas.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you.